So welcome everybody to this live Zoom chat with today's guest, who is the lovely Angela Trainer. This is Dynamic Creations, Transformational Coaching. I'm Gerald Neal. The purpose of these live Zoom chats is to discuss various aspects of spirituality and personal development. The basis will be the guest, which in this case is Angela, will do a 40-45 minute talk presentation, and then we'll open it up for a 20-minute or so question and answer session. So I'm delighted to welcome Angela. Angela's been an incredible mentor, trainer, and teacher for me over a couple of year period now. I've had the privilege of working either in groups, sometimes large groups, or in smaller groups, sometimes in a one-to-one with some phenomenal international class, incredible coaches, Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, Michael Neal, Richard Bandler, and then lots of other incredible training providers. And I must say that on a really deep personal level, and how I interact with my own one-to-one clients and in group sessions, the biggest influence that I've had has been definitely with you, Angela. There is no doubt about it. It's okay learning theory. Theory is fundamental, so we get some knowledge about why things work and how to apply things. And then when we put that knowledge into practical application, we develop experience, and through the process of knowledge and experience, then we develop wisdom. However, when you're training to be a coach or a therapist, there is many things that can happen in a therapy room. There's many things that can happen in a coaching process. People are people coming with all different areas of life. And I've found that the real practical insights that Angela's been able to give us over all the period that I've worked with her, 30 years of working on the front line at a national and often international level, has just really enhanced and developed my own practice. So I thank you deeply and really personally for that, Angela. Now, Angela will talk a lot about her own experience, but in case she forgets to plug the Harvest Clinic, the Harvest Clinic is a renowned clinic, very highly renowned clinic here in Glasgow. It does a multitude of therapeutic intervention and changes, which Angela will talk about there. There's a host of other therapists that work in there, very eclectic and experienced group of therapists. Angela's also published her book, Love Never Dies. She's currently writing her second book. She's appeared in numerous TV, national press and radios throughout her long career. She's done a TEDx talks. I'll do a follow-up email with all that information. And with that, Angela, a big massive build up. Welcome to your very first Zoom session, and I'll just pass it directly over to you.
Thank you, Jed. Absolutely no pressure there at all. So yes, this is my first, this is a very strange and exciting experience. I probably should have said while we were waiting, but for anyone else that's watching, it might be an idea to have a wee pen and paper in case there's anything I say that you do want to jot down for later. You might be quite happy just to watch the that's tears of joy at the beautiful things Jed was saying to me there. Might be some things I say that you want to jot down, might not be, but just in case, if you have got a pen and paper handy, it might be useful. So I thought what we would do first of all is, after all the excitement of getting on and me actually figuring out how to do this, it might be nice just to get here. So I'm going to play a wee bit of background music. I hope you can hear it, some Hildegard of Bingen. And we're going to just actually get here. So let's see if I can get this to work. So many of you I know have done lots of work with Jed on breathwork and breathing, but let's just breathe without doing anything at all other than allowing the breath to breathe us. So you're not counting or pushing or forcing. You're just resting on the breath, so that we're unplugging from all the busyness of the morning and the getting the technology and getting on here in time and creating the space in your day. You're just actually coming home coming in and down through the breath, using it as a gentle pathway in and down. And then, if you want, if you like, just slightly extend the out breath. When we extend the out breath, we interact with a lot of the natural programs in the body for feeling more centered and grounded. So just allowing the out breath to be slightly longer than the in breath. And then if you place your hands on your rib cage, just as you breathe in, noticing that your hands go out the way, as if you were playing an accordion. And as you breathe out, your hands will come back in the way. Now, if they're not naturally doing that, that's because you're breathing in a shallow way. So see if you can deepen your breath so that your rib cage actually moves out as you breathe in, and in as you breathe out, as if you were playing a squeeze box, but don't actually squeeze. And we're just taking that breath down further into the body. And if you want to take it further, then as you breathe in, hold for a second or two before you breathe out. Just a second or two, don't want anybody turning blue. When we hold for that second or two, we give ourselves an oxygen bath. So you may have had a shower or a wash or a bath this morning. You're cleansing all the cells and the organs of your body when you just hold for that second or two. And let's give ourselves a wee heart hug. Cross your right hand onto your left shoulder, your left hand onto your right shoulder, and just give yourself a wee hug and say, "Good morning, Angela," if that's your name. If it's not your name, say your own name. Just good morning. Welcome to the day. I'm going to start us off with a wee read from one of my favourite poets, writers, John O'Donoghue, the mystic and poet. He's passed over the veil. May this be a safe place full of understanding and acceptance, where you can be as you are, without the need of any mask or pretense or image. May this be a time of discovery, where the possibilities that sleep in the clay of your soul can emerge, to deepen and to refine your vision for all that is yet to come to birth. May we have the eyes to see that no visitor arrives without a gift, and no guest leaves without a blessing. You think I had timed that perfectly for the music to stop just as I finished, but I didn't. So I've gone to great lengths to prepare for this talk. I have prepared a state-of-the-art PowerPoint presentation for you. Shown it to Jed earlier. So I'm going to start off with a wee bit of what I am, who I am, how I work. I'm going to talk a bit about the ways that I work as a psychotherapist, and I'm going to speak about some of the technology, the anatomy of love, which sounds a bit wonky, that love would have an anatomy in our systems, but it does. I'm going to speak about the anatomy of love because the talk's called Are You Ready for Love? And I'm going to speak about the heart. I'm going to speak about sacred wounds, and hopefully I'm going to finish with a wee guided imagery, just a wee short immune boosting visualization that might be a good time to have. So we'll start off, Jed gave you some of the blurb, but I'll use the PowerPoint anyway. So here's my PowerPoint. I'm Angela Trainer. I've been a psychotherapist, clinical hypnotherapist for the last 33 years, and I founded the Harvest Clinic in Glasgow. There you go. Can you see it? There it is there. Harvest Clinic in Glasgow, ages ago, longer than I care to admit. I was the principal for the London College of Clinical Hypnosis under the auspices of Michael Joseph, my mentor. And I taught here, I taught in Europe, I taught in Asia, in Malaysia and Singapore over 30 years. And I do some stuff for the BBC. I'm a broadcast for the BBC from time to time as a spokesperson. And latterly, I've been writing and letting other people read my writing. I've been writing for a long time, but I never let anybody read it. And I work one-to-one with clients, and I run retreat days, I run workshops. And last year I was invited to do a TED Talk for women, TEDx Women. And I've been doing all these really amazing and exciting things. And if I was chocolate, I would eat myself. That tells you a lot about what I am, you know, what I am, what I've got. You know, I'm an I great. Started with a degree in psychology. Isn't that all marvellous? It doesn't tell you a thing about who I am. And I would say to you right now, whatever I say today, don't believe a word I say. Make experience your teacher, okay? Just see if what I say resonates on any level. Open your mind. Do you know, not your mind closed. Open your mind to what I'm saying. But I'm also aware that I'm teaching my granny to suck eggs here today, that a lot of you have an incredible amount of experience and knowledge and wisdom. And I know Jed's been coaching and delivering lots of this information, but repetition's the mother of skill. So there will be things that you'll have heard before and probably heard taught a lot better. But it's good to hear things again. So who am I? I always start with what I call the 4 Ds. I did a degree in 1980 at Glasgow University in psychology, and that led to my leaving and meeting the handsome prince. That was us. That was the handsome prince and I. We got married back in 1982, and after a very short period of time, the handsome prince took off and with another princess that he'd met while we were married, a colleague, and took her off to another castle. He'd get fed up. That led to the next one, the next D, which was depression. Now, the medical system calls it depression. Today, I would call it a broken heart. However, I was treated for depression, and my GP sagely suggested that I should think about talking to someone. So I did. I went to see a psychotherapist, and the rest was history. I ended up in therapy for a significant amount of time and unpacked a lot within that time. I'm sure without which I would not be here today to tell the story. Marvellous man, marvellous work. And that led to me knowing what I wanted to do. I left my career in advertising and marketing and began to train as a clinical hypnotherapist. And so we go on, and I continued with therapy over the years. But in the process of that journey, I had to unpack a lot of stuff from my childhood. Many of you will identify with some of the things I dealt with, but you know, childhood sexual abuse was a part of my childhood experience, and sexual assault as a young woman was a part of my journey. So I had a lot of work to do. And at the age of 37, I met the handsome king my partner in crime, Graham, my husband Graham. And Graham and I have got he's got 2 children, my stepchildren, no stitches. No stitches at all, and I have 2 stepchildren and 3 grandchildren who are 18, better get this right, 16 and 6. And we live out here in the sticks, overlooking the Campsies outside Kindorit. The next part of my job, so I'm super duper, I think, fabulous therapist, working away, dispensing wisdom and healing all over the place. Until my father gets pancreatic cancer back in June 2016. And I realise how much I don't know about pain, about loss, about losing a parent, losing a beloved. I'd lost people. I thought I had dealt with it, but the experience of accompanying my father on his journey with pancreatic cancer, he refused treatment. He was 80. He said, I've had a great life. I'm ready to go. He was an incredibly fit guy. He was running marathons up until a year or so before he took ill. Golfing, cycling, took up jazz piano, age 70. He was, everybody thinks their dad's a great man, don't they? Well, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people think their dad's a great man. And this is my dad and I. We do a wee photo check. That's my dad and I. I think you can see that at my graduation. And my journey with him opened me wider and deeper than I ever thought. That was as an Iona, the year before he died. So that experience really took me to a deeper level in terms of the way that I sat with people, the way that I listened to people, the way that I viewed the work that I did, and it's changed some things. I started to write down my feelings. I'm a great believer in therapeutic writing. I use it a lot in workshops, getting people to write and express through writing. And I started writing down my feelings about what was going on for me while I was accompanying my father on his journey. I was there with him when he died, when he took his last breath. I was singing along with the music, smile though your heart is aching, smile even though it's breaking. And he just stopped breathing. And I held his hand and I was able to thank him. I was able to tell him to let go and go. I don't think he did it on my command, but it was a beautiful death, if that doesn't sound too wonky. I carried on writing after he died, and I found it incredibly helpful in the grieving process because I realised I had a lot of things still to grieve. And it helped me through all of the things that go on after the death of a patriarch in the family, the confusion, the mayhem. It helped me with all of the things that happened afterwards. So it was interesting to me when I shared a couple of things with some friends and they said they found it was helping them, even though they had lost people, not necessarily fathers, 10 years, 15 years ago. They were finding things that I'd shared with them helpful. And they were asking if they could share some of my stuff, and would I share online some posts, and you should put that on your social media. And the rest is history. People started making contact and saying, do you have this written down anywhere? Can I get a copy? Could my friend down in England and Australia friend you, because they're going through something similar, and this is the bit that I sent them really helped them. Inevitably, I had to pull it together into some kind of booklet, and we decided just to publish properly as a book. And we gave all the profits share to pancreatic cancer research. So I feel okay talking about it because I don't feel as if I'm selling you anything. So that's kind of where we got to. My father died at the end of that year. We had a 6-month journey, and I was in recovery of the grief and the loss. And then last year, in April 2019, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I've been on that journey for the last year and still am. I had a mastectomy. There's one wheel left on my wagon though. I had a mastectomy, I had chemotherapy, 4.5 months of chemotherapy. I was baldies acute, and I had radiotherapy, 15 sessions, finished at the end of November, just before Christmas. And I'm still getting some 6-monthly IV infusions for the next couple of years. But so far, so good. And, you know, I take every day as it comes. But so far, doing well, doing very well. God bless the NHS again. So that's a wee bit about my story. It might tell you a bit more about who I am. There's a wee picture of me finishing my chemo with it. Now, I'm not sure if you can actually see. Wait till I see if I can see it. Can you see that? I can't hear anybody. I think I've got the angle right. So that's my mum and Graham and I ringing the bell after the treatment. I went on, I finished radiotherapy, I think in November. At the beginning of December, I had been asked before it all kicked off if I would do a TED talk, which I mentioned earlier, for the TEDx Women, which was called Bold and Brilliant. That's it. Bold and Brilliant TEDx Women in December, which I managed to stand up straight long enough for and then collapse. I started off the talk by saying that I had got the title wrong. I didn't realise it was Bold and Brilliant. I thought it was called Bald and Brilliant. That's me with my Kojak look. So that was a really exciting thing, and that has kind of led me into thinking, well, maybe I should share a wee bit more rather than just in the classroom. I don't particularly want to stand for 8 hours a day teaching tools for therapists for the rest of my life. What do I want to do? And I realised that there were other things I wanted to share and talk about, and I feel as if it's time to give more back to a wider audience and not necessarily be chasing the dollar for the rest of my life. So I thought I'd share with you a bit about how I work. The way that I work, I now refer to as peel it, feel it, and heal it, or conceal it and deal with it for the rest of your life. Go on, auto-repeat, and keep running into the same blocks and walls. Feelings buried alive never die. We just end up repeating the storylines. If we don't deal with it, if we don't actually peel back and feel it and heal it, it runs our programs. Now, you might think that's great, so I should be talking about my past, I should be living my past, I should be telling the story. We need to watch how often we tell the story too, unless it's to share. I've told my story a lot, but your motivation for telling your story is all, if it is to benefit others, that's a totally different thing than just going about, oh, weary, woe is me. When we just repeat the storyline, when we just keep telling the story, thinking one day it's going to make us feel better, it can lead to re-traumatization. We just keep getting into the past and regurgitating the whole thing again. And affect or emotion without insight is a waste of time. Just emoting all over the place, you know, sitting greeting all day, every day, is not good for us for its own sake. However, insight without affect, so when we just have all the insight, we have all the thinking stuff, all the knowledge, but we haven't done the feeling, we haven't expressed the emotions, that's also a bit of a waste of time. We need to be able to express the emotions, the affect, and have the insight into what's going down for us. And for me, loss and grief are implicated there hugely. They are a huge part of our life. Endings are always going on, just like that breath we did earlier on. Things are ending, and then there's a pause, and then new things are beginning. The breath out and the breath in. But many of us didn't get permission to feel when we were going through our lives. So we learned to dissociate, we learned to split. the way that I work and the way that Jed and Robert and many of the guys on here that have done the trainings will recognise is stabilisation is the first part of any work that we do. We need to stabilise ourselves before we start to explore this in our journey. We need scaffolding. We need to know that we can reparent ourselves. We shouldn't just begin off on these inner divings and journeys into the past and opening the closets on our own. We need scaffolding. We need someone to take our arm. We need accompaniment. We need a soul friend. And we need to know how to reparent ourselves, because many of us didn't get the parenting that we deserved, that we needed, and that in a perfect world we would get. The next stage is doing the work, doing the change work, doing the digging if that's required. But there's a really important stage after that, and I think many of you guys know all about that, and that is maintenance. Many people stop at, you know, I've done the work, I've done the change work, I'm sorted now, I'm fixed. And that's not in itself enough. We need maintenance when we've done change work, because often we've had many, many years of the old way. And we've changed in the last year or two or three, but it's really, really easy for life to tip us back into the old way because we spent longer there and it's programmed pretty deeply. So maintenance involves reassessing ourselves regularly, checking our coordinates, checking in with feedback from others, looking at our map. Is my map today up to date? Is my compass set to the right coordinates? Do I need to prune? Have I become overgrown? Am I stretching too far? Do I need to prune back? Do I need to fine tune, retune? So stabilisation, and then doing the work, not doing the work before that, not diving in until we feel we've got good scaffolding and good support, then doing the work, and then doing the maintenance. I'm going to read you a wee story. Just, you can shut your eyes if you like. Once upon a time, there were 3 sisters. Now, you can have 3 brothers. I have no agenda here to promote the women unnecessarily, because we're not needing it. We're on the rise. So once upon a time, I'll do it as 3 sisters, because I'm a girl. When they were growing up, each decided to seek truth and purpose in her own way. The first declared, I'm going to look after the sick and broken. The streets are full of them. I'll bring them healing and care. The second sister said, everywhere I see people in dispute and conflict with one another, I will go out to reconcile them. I'll bring them peace. The third sister declared that she would stay at home. After 2 years, the 2 sisters returned, and the first one said, it's hopeless. There's simply too many sick people. I can't cope. The second said much the same. It's impossible. I'm torn to shreds. They sat in exhausted and burnt out despair, looking at each other. And then the third sister filled a bowl with muddy water from a nearby pool. Look at that, she said. Look. They looked, but they saw only muddy water. Let it stand, she said. Let it be. After a while, they looked again, and the muddy water was clear now, and they saw their own reflections in it as clearly as in a mirror. The third sister told them, when the water is stirred up, it's very muddy, and you can see nothing. It's clear only when it's very still. Only in stillness can you see your own self. Can you see what you should do? where you should go. Only then can you plunge with passionate love into caring for others, whether through healing or politics or coaching, and be indifferent to the fruits of your actions. Maybe just take a moment to think about if that story speaks to you on any level in your life at the moment and how it speaks to you. For me to work safely, and for me, for my clients to work safely, we need a sense of our place in the world. We need a sense of connection. We need a secure baseline and good coordinates. We need a map. This planet is spinning at 66,000 miles an hour through space right now. It's spinning on its axis at 1,000 miles an hour. It's rotating. And we're not falling off. We're not sliding about all over the place. And there's no strings attached. And every morning that sun out there comes up. It's the wee marble, wee yellow marble, comes up in the sky. And it warms the planet. And then it travels through the day, and at night another wee marble appears, a wee moon, and it changes shape. And the moon rises. And the stars come out. And that sun sends its light to those beautiful flowers that I call yellow, but you might know as daffodils, that are wee husks of nothing, dry, dusty husks of nothingness, that every spring at the end of winter burst through as yellow and bring us so much pleasure. I don't do any of that. I don't make that happen. It happens every year. And then those wee husks die back into dry bulbs of nothingness, and they sit either in the greenhouse or in the ground if you're lazy gardeners like us, and they wait, and then they burst through again. Amazing. It's not me. I don't do that. Now, something does. Some incredible, phenomenal source of creativity and intelligence is at work in our world. And the name of it doesn't matter because it's unknowable. It's too big for our wee bird brains. However, there's different names. And people get really hung up and strung out on these different names. I find it easy just to call it God, but some people freak out and get into hives when you say that word. So we can call it higher power. Some just call it love. I like to call it love. Some call it the mystery, because that's what it is. You can even call it the mysterons if you like. Gaia, Maya, the universe, source, supporting all of life. Quantum physics and the mystics have been telling us for a long time now that I am part of something bigger than me. I'm not it. I am a wave in the ocean. So me, my ego, my separate self is the wave. But I am part of the ocean and I can't be separate from it. And I come up and do my wee dance in my life. I float on the top and I wave. And I go onto the beach and I spill onto the beach and go, look at me, I'm Angela. And then I go back into the ocean, but I've never left the ocean. But sometimes it's easy for me just to think I'm on my own because I'm a big wave. I'm on Zoom today, talking to lots of people. I'm a big wave. But I can't be separate from that ocean. We can think of it as I'm a spark in an eternal flame, this huge eternal flame, and I'm a tiny wee spark in it. But my spark is every bit as necessary to that flame burning as yours. We're all one. Quantum physics has been telling us this. Science is catching up. We are all one. So I have this ego, this separate me. I am separate. I am Angela Trainer. I'm not you. I'm not Jed. I'm saying that because he's the only one I can see here. So the I, the ego, the separate self, Jung called the false self. It didn't mean to demean it or devalue it. It's just it's your false self. It can be really easy for me to begin to believe my own publicity, that that's who I am. Angela Trainer, Harvest Clinic. I am those things, but I'm also part of the I am, the ocean, the eternal flame, the connected me, which Jung called our true self. I like what Richard Rohr says about the first half of life being important. It's not necessarily right in the middle half of your life, but the first stage of life, the first half of life is about ego, is about me finding out who Angela is. Those of us who had our childhoods annihilated, broken, smashed, for whatever reason, we didn't get our egos built up. We didn't get our egos supported in their growth. We were shown that the world was a scary, dangerous place. They were shown things a child shouldn't need to see or know. And so we really need to build this ego up. We really need to get that sense of who we are. I need to be able to look in the mirror and go, yes, good for you, Ange. Well done. Hooray for me. So we spend this first half of life building up on the outside, building the Harvest Clinic. I've written a book. Look at me, Mammy, I'm dancing. We do this journey into outer space. And it's really important. Everyone needs to build that nest, the home, the relationship. If we're here to parent the children, the family, we build, we're building, we're building security. The problem is, if we just keep doing that, then we can see that in our world when the ego doesn't know when to stop, because the ego is a bad master. It's a great servant, but a bad master. And we can see lots of examples of ego in the world today. You don't need to look terribly far. I'm right. I don't need to apologise for anything. Me. My needs. To hell with the rest of you. We need to move into the second half of life in order to mature as human beings and not just human doings. And the second half of life is an inner journey, the journey into inner space. It's not Corona. We need to do that inner journey. We need to learn to become a good loser. We need to learn to have less attachment and gripping and dependence on the externals. Who I am, amn't I great? Look at me. Doesn't mean we don't do what we do, but we recognise that it's really important that we don't believe our own publicity too much. And we spend more time in the spark of the eternal flame, and we spend more time with the ocean and recognising our fragility and learning the art of humility. So this talk, sadly, for some of you that might have come on, is not about finding romance, it's about finding the one. And it's about falling in love, with you, and then all of life, including them. If I say nothing else today, I think the thing that I want to get across is that love is not a feeling. Love is not a feeling. Love is a verb. Love is a decision. Love is a discipline. Love is a practice. Love is action. You are a precious eternal diamond or a crystal. But life covers us in mud and clay, and it chips us and it cracks us and it knocks wee bits off us. But as we peel and as we feel and as we heal, we cleanse, we rinse, we polish, and we shine that diamond. So what is the mud and the clay that clings to my diamond? The unfinished business, the loss and the grief that I'm maybe not even aware of. Or when I'm ego driven, the ego doesn't understand the word enough. The ego will always push you more, bigger, better, faster. Perfectionism. Perfectionism is the work of the ego. Perfectionism is linked to higher rates of suicide and depression. And some people think, oh, that's when you do everything perfectly. No, it's not. It's when you won't try. You won't try anything unless you can do it perfectly. You won't even start. I'll do it next year. I'll do it on Monday. Won't even have a go. So terrified that we won't do it perfectly, because the ego needs everything to be done perfectly, yesterday, fast. Some of the other blocks are splitting. When we split, it means that we've left parts of us frozen in time. Parts of us are frozen in time in the past. And we're not using all of our capabilities. There's a beautiful, magical child inside of you who needs your love. The Native Americans call it soul calling. We call back the parts of ourselves that we've left behind. My rebellious, moody, narky, critical, bitter teenager is alive and well in there. I need to go and find her, put my arms around her and say, what is it you want to do today? You had enough of keeping them all happy and plate spinning and being the wonderfully marvellous contributor to society that you are, dropping lettuces and chives off at all the family gates. She just wants to lie in the garden and read a book and drink a coffee. My inner child, the whiny, clingy, needy part that wants to go and play, doesn't care about all the other stuff, all the adult concerns. So can we identify these split off parts of ourselves at the different stages of our lives and bring them into the present, because they're packed with energy and passion and magic. Those parts know how to play a full hand in life. So the anatomy of love, we are hardwired for love. We have the hardware. We have a nerve inside, PowerPoint, the vagus nerve. It's the longest nerve in the body. It travels to all the different organs in the body. And I think Jed has spoken a lot about the vagus nerve. We just need to know this nerve creates the relaxation response. And in our brain, if this is my brain, front of my head, back of my head, is a bit in the middle where the thumb is. It's a thing called the amygdala. Oh, I didn't get my nails done. The amygdala here in the middle of the brain where my nail is. And the amygdala is just that, it's like a burglar alarm. Now, some of us with trauma in our lives had our circuits blown, and that's pretty much locked on. We don't have a very good braking system. Things happen and we're full on right away. Or we see ghosts in the dark where there aren't any. Or we're constantly on a paranoid looking for trouble before it's anywhere in town. We can love these bits better. Both of these, the vagus nerve that we need to wrap a comfort blanket around us, and the amygdala that we need to help to develop a braking system for, both respond to the breath immediately. just like we did earlier on. The vagus nerve, the big long nerve, squirts out a chemical called, they only discovered this in the last century, acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is like liquid Valium, but it's a feel-good liquid Valium in the body. And it's a wonderful tranquilizer. It's not Valium, but it's a wonderful tranquilizer. And we can stimulate this relaxation response at will. We can stimulate oxytocin, which is the love chemical. That's what it's known as. The vagus nerve is known as the love nerve by some. And oxytocin, the chemical in the brain, is called the love chemical. Dopamine could be grouped in there too, the feel-good hormones. How do we do it? Working with the breath, learning to breathe. I don't have time today, but there's loads of stuff Jed's been doing, loads of workshops. Self-soothing, we did that wee hug. Again, I think, Jed, you've been doing some stuff on havening. Just crossing your arms around yourself with intention to hold all those wee parts of yourself. Loving touch, this isn't dodgy stuff. Loving touch is simply touching ourselves in a soothing way, whether that's palming when we're tired, whether that's just holding our face and giving ourselves a wee bit of comfort when life is tricky or we're worried or we're scared. Watching the thoughts and the images that feed our minds, putting some good visualizations and images in here, feeding it. Movement, exercise, smiling. I mentioned the song I sang to my dad, Smile Though Your Heart Is Aching. Now, we're not talking about some hysterical, schizoid smile, just allowing your face to relax into a secret smile. I'm doing it now. Is enough to stimulate some of these chemicals inside, the hardware of love. Laughter, again, if it's congruent. Sometimes I don't feel like laughing, but by the time I actually put on a Billy Connolly video or I put on a Larry David episode, I find I've moved out of the grumpy, fearful, narky place. We kind of made a deal that we would go through the whole box set of Curb Your Enthusiasm during this Corona episode. We watch one a night before we go to bed. Much better for you than watching Blues at 10. Music, good music. And even just splashing your face with cold water stimulates that vagus nerve. Rabbi Steve Leder, who I've been reading some of his stuff just now, says pain breaks us open. Pain can make you a better version of you. I like to refer to some of the old stuff as sacred wounds. When I peel, feel and heal, love breaks us open too. I'm going to read a wee bit from my book, Love Never Dies. So this was the book I wrote when my father was ill, and afterwards, where I was just keeping my diaries of what was going on. This is called Greet, Pray, Love. I'm going up to see Dad today. His meds have been upped and he doesn't eat much. Sleep doesn't come easy. We text sometimes during the night while the world sleeps, and we meet in meditation in a beautiful place where he and I are pain-free. I thought I'd share a chat we had, just him and I, on regrets, forgiveness and screwing up. He was anxious about his mistakes, the people he'd hurt, the things he'd got wrong, and how clear it was now that love is all that matters. I disagreed. I said, "You're wrong, Dad. Screwing up, getting it wrong is where it's at." getting it wrong, making an arse of it, hurting others is where it's at. He looked perplexed. So did I, because I had absolutely no idea where I was going with this one, but my mouth kept moving anyway, as it does. I continued. It's absolutely crucial for our souls to grow that we blow it regularly. If we're here to learn how to love, to learn how to forgive, to learn how to develop compassion, which I believe we are, how are we going to do that sitting on a beach, drinking wine, smoking cigars and singing Kumbaya? If everyone's your pal and loves you to the moon and back, you just stagnate. No. I learned the art of forgiveness and how to love with compassion by getting down there in the mire, by getting up weary in the morning and dealing with the face in the mirror and learning to forgive myself. Then we start to learn how to forgive them, one spoonful at a time. And as we do one, it helps us do the other, and on it goes. If no one ever stands in my foot and gives me the gift of something to forgive them for, how am I going to get the practice in? And I need to do my fair share of giving folk something to practice with too. By God, I do. We all do. So if I was your guardian angel and my job was to develop your soul in this lifetime, I'd plan a lot of useful learning exercises and experiences for you along the way. Big screw-ups, big letdowns, big betrayals. I would, however, not tire you out, and I'd try to intersperse it with some joy, some bliss, some nice beaches, some nice wines, some nice cigars, and of course, the occasional chorus of Kumbaya to break the monotony. So endeth the lesson, Dad. He smiled, I smiled, and we sat silent for quite some time. Pain, mess, loss, grief, forgiveness, they're all part of the jigsaw, the quilt of life. I'm messy, you're messy, and Messi's not just a good footballer. We need to feel and befriend our feelings, hurt and fear. How can I show up today for the broken, scared, split off parts of me from the past? Be present to that inner child, that inner teenager, that womanling, that manling, that adult child, that teenager inside of you. Tell them, I'm here now, I've got this. We have three brains. Head brain, that has 100 billion neurons or brain cells. The heart brain, that has 40,000 neurons or brain cells. And the gut brain, you can't see my belly and I'm not showing you because I've got corona belly now. 100 million brain cells. And they all communicate with each other. They all completely interact. And we can, if we take the time and we know how to, we can tune in. We can learn how to put our hands on the parts that all have different ways of processing and communicating. Too many of us, we live in a world where the only brain that is honoured, used or recognised is the head brain. The heart brain, the heart is the centre of love. We use language like a broken heart. She's heartless. I had a really heart-filled experience. And you know that your heart can change shape because of the emotions that you're feeling? There is scientific clinical evidence now to say that the heart can change shape. depending on our emotions. The heart is the centre of compassion and wisdom. When we actually touch our heart, we engage in intimacy. Intimacy. We engage in the I am. We touch the ocean. We touch the eternal flame. I am here. I exist in the sacred now. When people are asked to point to where they are in their body or their space, most people will point to their heart. That's where they have a sense that they exist, that they live. The heart knows truth. It recognises truth. It knows who we really are. Your heart knows when someone else is being authentic. Your head will often talk you out of it. But your heart knows. I just need to... There's a wee butterfly here. I'm hoping it flies in front of the camera. Oh my God. Now, since I've been in here, this door, I'm not going to foot it about it. This door has been shut. There's a wee butterfly. If you have read the book, you'll know the significance of the butterfly. There's a wee butterfly just flown right up. The heart knows and recognises truth. It knows who we really are. It knows when someone's been authentic. It's a wordless knowing. And suffering can expand the heart. So the heart becomes a greater container. It teaches us compassion. Pain breaks us open, and tears can melt the heart. When we see with the eyes of the heart, when we think with the heart, when we place our hands on our heart and check in, we expand our wisdom vision. We see beyond the obvious. Touch activates love. When we affirm with the heart touch, I've got my hand on my heart just now. I'm just not sure if you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm putting my hand on my heart. When we touch the heart, we stimulate that oxytocin, that love hormone. We stimulate the vagus nerve, the love nerve. And we stand that amygdala, the alarm in our brain. We stand that down. When we place our hand on our heart, there's a beautiful affirmation we can use, which is, be still. Hang on. I'm going to see if I can get my wee pal to come into camera. Are you coming? Come on. Come on. Come on. Nah, we'll be here all day. It's flying away. We can use the affirmation, be still, and we can ask the question, what would love say here? What would love do here? If you can hear a wee pitter pat in the background, it's a wee butterfly. One of my favourite therapists in the world is a very elderly mystic, Jim Finlay, who I've trained with over the years in different subjects, but meditation being one of them. Jim lives out in West Coast, I forget, Santa Barbara, round about that way, Marina del Rey. Jim Finlay says, I will keep touching the hurting place with love, and at the end of my life, all that will be left is love. And then I'll be love's presence in the world. I'll read that again. I will keep touching the hurting place with love. And at the end of my life, all that will be left is love. And then I'll be love's presence in the world. The Beatles wrote a wee tiny short song. You'll find it on YouTube. It was the very last song that they recorded together in the studio. It's seconds long. And the lyrics are, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. if you're still awake, and if you've got time, I'm going to do a 2-minute wee visual imagery thing. I wish you could see this wee butterfly. I don't want you to think I'm making it up, but I'm frightened if I grab it, I'll crush it. It's a metaphor for life, isn't it? So if you can get comfy, you don't need to close your eyes, but it's sometimes nice to close your eyes. But if you focus on a wee spot in front of you, it just helps to have less distractions. If I can get undistracted by the butterfly. We okay for 2 or 3 minutes, Jed? So thumbs up?
Yeah. Yes, plenty of time.
Okay. And then I'll shut up. I don't know if you've ever seen the wee white Ferrero Rocher chocolates. That might be a helpful way to visualise your cells. Or I like to use, you know, dandelion wishes, when a dandelion turns into a wish. Oh my, that's a bit manic. Wee fluffy flowers, heads that you blow. You might visualise the dandelion wishes. And so, with your eyes closed, just imagining in your mind's eye, sending a waterfall of bright, healthy, white cells visualised as the dandelion wish or the wee Ferrero Rocher ball. These wee white balls of light, tiny wee balls of light, but incredibly powerful. Send a waterfall of these beautiful, bright, healthy, white blood cells, full of grace, full of light, full of pure white light and love. Imagine them cascading from the sky like a moonbeam or a sunbeam, depending on the time of day. So we'll concentrate on a sunbeam, a waterfall of these wee tiny white cells of grace and healing. You may even hear the gentle sound of that steady flow, the whispered downpouring of those healing, vibrantly lit white cells of grace pouring down through the crown area on the top of your head, through each and every part of your body, into every nerve, every cell, every fibre of your being, through each and every part of your body, into every nerve, every cell, every fibre of your being. These cascading tiny pearls of healing and grace are going right to the core of you, deep within you, into each and every organ, permeating even the marrow of your bones. These are vibrantly healthy, healing white cells of your immune system that keep you so well, so healthy, and so protected. They cleanse the system of any intruders or tired and faulty cells, and they carry them off for repair outside of your system. And they go all the way through your body, through every organ, every nerve, every cell, every fibre, every level of muscle and tissue and bone, And they go all the way down through your body, right down into your legs, your calves, your feet, and out. They leave the body out through the soles of your feet, down into the ground, out into the ground, as if pulled by the earth's magnetism. They flow down and out and away from your body, through the ground, into Mother Earth, out from the soles of your feet, to where those tired, faulty, toxic cells can be repaired and restored and recharged, recycled, and later released into the atmosphere as new, vibrant energy. So let those pearls of light, healing grace, cascade and waterfall down through the body, where they collect and they carry off any tired and faulty cells in the system, any tiredness, any toxicity. They carry it down and out through the soles of your feet, into the ground, way down into Mother Earth, where those tired, faulty, toxic cells or energies are repaired, restored, recharged, recycled into healthy cells again, and transmitted out into the atmosphere as new, vibrant energy, leaving you healthy, fresh, revitalized and well, restored and regenerated, stronger, vibrantly alive, aglow and full of life-giving, love-giving energy. Feel how much clearer and brighter your energy is, clearer and brighter in your mind and your body and your spirit, and carrying with you into your day and the rest of your life. I am. Place your hand over your heart. Slightly left of centre is your physical heart, your spiritual heart. Many of the mystics believe there's a wee cave of the heart on the right hand side. There is a wee space there. That's why the heart's moved over to the left. That's where your spiritual heart lives. So it doesn't matter if you put your hand in the centre. You're covering both options. All is well. All is safe. All is secure. In the grand scheme of things, all is well. All is safe. All is secure. I am. Be still and know. What would love do today? What would love say today? There's a great wee song I'd like to finish off with, so it'll bring us back to a nice state of being back in the world. So if you can open your eyes and release your hands down and just have a wee wiggle, make sure you're not asleep. I'm going to tell you the words first, and then I'll sing it, and then you can have a shot and see if you can sing it with me. I didn't write it. I learned this years ago from a Louise Hay facilitator. The words are: every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. Healthy, I'm healthy. I sparkle and shine. Every little cell in me is full of grace divine. It goes like this. Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. Healthy, I'm healthy, I sparkle and shine. Every little cell in me is full of grace divine. Have a go, make it up. Let's do it together. Every little cell in my body is healthy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm healthy, I sparkle and shine. Every little cell in me is full of grace divine. You can sing that waiting in the kettle boiling, during the adverts, you're sitting at a red traffic light, if you're in a queue at Tesco or Asda, or if you're off at Posh, Marks and Spencer's, you're in the shower or you're in the bath, and each time you sing it, reminding yourself to allow these cells to travel down through the body and engaging with the I am, pulling everything through your body, and not to fight and battle, but to shift what we need to release. And these things went a long way to carrying me last year through cancer treatment and hopefully into the future. So if you are interested in digging a wee bit deeper around some of the stuff I've spoken about, the TED Talk is on YouTube. It's Angela Trainer, Are You Ready for Love? You should find it there. So there's an 18-minute talk where I've gone more into the vagus nerve. It was geared for women, but loads of guys have said they find it really helpful. It was aimed towards women, but I think the themes apply to everybody. Apart from anything else, it's great for the guys to balance the feminine within, because we need to balance our masculine too, girls. And it's also quite useful in terms of, some men said they find it helpful because it helped them understand the way we think as girls, women, a bit better. So it seems to be helpful for everybody. Not everybody, but those that want to listen. On the Harvest Clinic website, www.harvestclinic.co.uk, there's a thing on the front page, it says CD downloads. If you go into that, there's some CDs that are there that can be downloaded onto your phone or as MP3s. Now, there's one called Stress Free. That's a lovely 25-minute self-hypnosis relaxation. But there's also one called the Body Scan, which is my husband Graham, who's a yoga and mindfulness teacher, who did a body scan, which is a bit longer, and it's a beautiful relaxation, lovely to do in a day like this. Those are available by donation, right? So depending on where you're at financially, and I think a lot of people will not be lots of places financially, then you can donate as little as you like. And I mean literally, you could go in and donate 10p and nobody's going to come and chase you for it. Just whatever you feel is fair enough for you at the moment. You can download either the Stress Free or the Body Scan, and you might find them helpful in terms of relaxation if this is new to you. And what else was I going to say? If you're interested in knowing more about the book is on Amazon Kindle, Amazon paperback, so you can actually get them to send you a book, a proper book, and it's available on Audible books, Amazon Audible, if you can't be bothered reading and you just want to listen to me. It's actually me rambling on. God. I was locked in a cupboard for about 7 hours on a day like this when we did it. Actually last year, was it last year? Yeah, I think it was after my mastectomy. We ended up doing it on Audible. The things you do for love. The things you do for love. Right, have I done everything? Are you ready for love? Learn about the vagus nerve on YouTube. Yep, I think I've covered everything. So, Jed, over to you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Angela. That was phenomenal masterclass and a lot of stuff. And as you know, just some observations, feedback slightly. As you know, I am involved with a number of other people in a charity called Cisco, which goes into the prisons and offers a whole range of processes, techniques, strategies, and lots of partnership agreements as well with male long-term and short-term prisoners, which you have kindly agreed to explore how you can help with that, Angela. That's great. But on that point, in the 3 areas that you looked at, you spoke about, Angela, and you're quite very thorough during the training in how us as therapists, coaches should approach the sessions. And there's a lot of work that we do on that over a number of months, really reinforcing that. But the idea of stabilisation, so stabilising the first crux that we do is really stabilise. So let's start applying on the symptoms, usually chronic stress, just some real self-care, some ways that we can manage the symptoms before we go a deep dive into the actual change work. And then after the change work, there's the maintenance. And it really just, when I look at them becoming much more informed, particularly about how we treat drug addiction, if it's an allopathic form of treatment, where we look to do the stabilisation, which could be the methadone. But then we, as a society, expect people who have never done any change work to be maintained, for them themselves, just by being on allopathic medication. And it also, it's not criticism of the judiciary or the criminal justice system, but also do that as well, where we treat the symptoms, and if the symptoms are too severe in terms of violence, aggression, or antisocial behaviour, then how we treat these symptoms is we put people in prison, and that does stabilise them. But again, there's no underlying treatment at any of the causes. And it's the same with trauma as well. Often when we're dealing with trauma, stabilisation's fundamental, and there's many ways to do that. I'm often tuning on breath work, because people, when they are themselves, can date themselves. They just need to learn some processes that definitely soothe, stimulate them. Doesn't take away the cause, but it can mean there's a better outcome in terms of how you're trying to cope, the coping strategies. But see that bit in the middle, Angela, the change work, which you know yourself, isn't just like NLP, right here, come on, we'll do a couple of NLP techniques on you, that'll be your change. They can loosen things, and they are useful, because we obviously do it during our training, as is meditation, and as is hypnosis. But there's also that relationship thing, do you know, where you develop a really close relationship with that guide, that person that you can really trust, who understands, a skilled facilitator. And I always like how you taught us, Angela, where it's like, we are not going to be the causes of the change. We're going to be facilitators of change, and we're going to hold somebody's hand. And we're going to greet with them, we're going to snort away them, but we're also going to come in with a very skilled set that allows people to go through a process of deep internal change. And I'm so fundamental about, when we treat the causes, the symptoms are either eliminated or greatly manageable. So the coping strategies are no longer necessary. And I'll thank you for really touching on that masterclass on what's required, you know. And brilliant, Angela, really fantastic. Thanks very much for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Angela, we've got some stuff. I told you before we come on, I was going to plug the charity. The reason for that is we've got no funding, zero funding whatsoever, entirely volunteers. Natalie has lumped up credit card debts, all sorts, to keep the process going. I'll share a follow-up email. I know you gave quite a bit of stuff, but I will follow that up with an email about the Harvest Clinic, where they can get the downloads, a link that you can go directly into Amazon and get your book either on Kindle or on paperback, and also the TED Talk. But I'll come back with you, swap some stuff, what you would like in that, and then I'll provide a pack. Just following on, Angela's talked about a lot of stuff that we have personally experienced in our own lives. You know, Joanna, which Angela talked about our own journey, our own healing journey, and that healing journey can overlap into our own healing journey. And if we've not done the work on that, then Angela spoke a lot about the vagus nerve, a lot about how we can soothe ourselves, changing neurochemistry, oxytocin, through touch and stuff like that. I have got some videos as well on my YouTube channel. Talks a very bit about the vagus nerve, but there's also a process for the deep abdominal breathing. There's also a process for heart coherence, some stuff for havening. Now, while you're doing them yourself, you might just be soothing symptoms. And really what we need to deal with is the cause. But until we can get to that point where we're ready to open ourselves up to the cause, we can still stabilise ourselves. You know, mindfulness, meditation, particularly body scans, which Angela's saying, pay 10 pence if you want, are hugely beneficial. And in a long period of time, they can change the neural structures in your brain, which can mean your brain works much differently. It's speeded up exponentially when you work with a skilled therapist and go through that. But it needs to happen when you're ready and when you're ready to go on that journey. But in the meantime, there is some videos that can go ahead and do that. I'm now going to take this on the questions. Can I just ask that if you have been triggered at any point here, I'm not really looking for somebody to retell traumatic experiences here. Do you know, it's not about making myself vulnerable. Now, I'm sure what Angela said will stimulate many people in this conversation, we are now looking for a big in-depth life story off of somebody, and that's not to say that it's no important, it's just not the platform, because we can't follow that up and really help you the way if you were sat in front of us. It's more about just to form a question. Now, you can come in about your own experience and form a question that way, but I ask that you frame a question in a minute, because that would really be a question rather than a 5 or 10 minute personal share about your own personal experience. So can we bear that in mind? And what I'm going to do just now is just open it up to some of the questions. And I'm going to ask you, Arlene Donaldson, who's put your hand up, whether you would like to unmute yourself and ask Angela a question.
Thanks very much, Jed, and thanks, Angela. I've lost you now. You're still there, that's great. Thoroughly enjoyed that. That was amazing, really amazing. I've been out for a walk with the dogs, and I'm going to go home now, and I'm going to actually sit and watch this again on YouTube. I could identify so much with what you were saying, you know, about being in the moment, and there's too much to go into. There's absolutely too much to go into, and I'm smiling at the sort of the butterfly being there, because I mean, it has to be your dad, you know, coming and saying, "Well done, Hen, you're doing a great job," you know. It was fabulous, and where I am in my journey, it's just what I meant to hear. The God of my understandings obviously zoomed me in on you, so thank you, thanks Jed, and thank God. Okay, thanks.
Thank God.
There you go. Thanks very much, Arlene. I'll just mute you there. We've got, so how we go about asking questions. If you're on like a phone, there's an option there. There's two options. If you go into participators, there'll be an option for you if you click on your name to raise your hand, or if you're on a phone or tablet, there's an option that says more. Click on that, it says raised hand. When I see the raised hand, I'll know you're forming a question. The next one is Catherine, who's in Perth, Australia. Hi, Catherine.
Hiya. Do I need to unmute myself?
No, you're unmuted already.
Oh, okay. I'm in Australia, but I still get the same accent.
You have?
That was just amazing, absolutely amazing. Since I've been following a lot of these Zoom programs in the last couple of weeks, I've learned a lot. I need to learn more. I've seen things from Jed, and I'm going to start following. God, I couldn't even start to ask you questions because I've got a lot of years of questions to ask. But one I want to know, I was making notes. You started talking about the 4 Ds, but you didn't actually go through and say what they all were, or maybe I missed it.
Okay, sure. So the first D is I got a degree. The second D was I got a divorce.
Right.
The third D was I then was diagnosed with depression.
Got that
which
one.
I prefer to call a broken heart. And the last D was the decision to actually change my life around and go and train as a therapist myself. And that you know, one thing followed the other in a very short period of time between 1981 right through to 1983, 84, when I made the decision that I was going to train as a therapist.
Well, you've done
Thanks for pointing that out.
An amazing job, absolutely amazing, and it was wonderful to listen to you, and I look forward to getting your book or your discs or whatever it is I'll get, and hope to see you again and hear you again. And thanks, Jed, for the opportunity to come on and listen. Thank you.
God bless.
You're welcome, Catherine. Is there any other questions that anybody would like to ask Angela? You have an internationally renowned therapist. Although we're not going to do any therapy, but it would be good to ask any form of questions that you would like. So Angela, would you like to, is there any follow-up information or any further comments that you would like to impart at this point?
No, I just think it's been really beautiful. I was very nervous and very, you know, what have I done? Why did I agree to do this? But actually, it's been. What's amazed me is how much I felt the audience there throughout it. And for me, the big takeaway is going to be the wee butterfly. I don't know where it's sleeping now, but I did a thing a couple of days ago out here. There was no butterfly here. if anybody does read the book, they'll know what the significance of nature, butterflies, bees. You know, it starts with a story of a bee, and I would just encourage people to be aware if this has opened their heart a bit and stimulated them a wee bit in terms of their connection with the bigger picture. Pay attention to the synchronicities today. Pay attention to nature if you have it around. You know, it's a lovely day if you can get out. But just pay attention to how nature speaks to you, because for me, that was a huge takeaway today.
Brilliant, Angela. So we've got a question, Angela. And before I asked you to come in, Jules, you're already unmuted. Jules is just was unable to find how you raise your hand and just sent a message. So that's another way where I can unmute you. But you're unmuted now, Jules, if you would like to ask Angela any question.
Hi, Angela.
Hello there.
It was amazing listening to you. I have also been in the breast cancer journey, so I'm just...
I remember you.
Oh, do you remember me? Like,
Yes, I do. Yes, and we were in the makeup class together, and then we were in the aftercare course together when I spoke to you and said how much you had inspired me, that I hadn't had chemo yet, and you came in and you took your hat off and you were baldy as a billiard ball, and you had such dignity and grace about you. I couldn't take my eyes off you, and I thought, I want to handle this like her. You know, I want to be able to just get in and take that hat off or take that wig off and just be. And you stayed with me throughout my journey. So, my God, I need to go and get a Kleenex, Jed. This is no good.
Oh, God,
this is no good makeup. Good makeup's melting down my face here. How lovely to see you.
Oh, you look amazing. You've even looked different from when I saw you in the class.
Well, it's real now. It's real here now.
Okay, I know, it's certainly coming in. No, it's funny because I was going to ask you about how you deal with like situations of your brain running away with itself, you know, because once you've had the cancer, especially earlier on, every little lump and bump you think, what's that? Or, you know, is there a good way that I could deal with that?
I'm sure there is, but I don't know it. So we're human, and we believe all this amazing. I believe all this amazing spiritual stuff, and my father and his transition and his good death. But I'm not ready to die yet, and so the ego in me wants to live forever. But Freddie Mercury, you know, I want to live forever. I don't want to die, and I don't want to die. The ego's terrified. The only way I know to handle that is to keep bringing into my life strategies that keep me in touch with the bigger picture, that I am supported, and whatever happened or happens in the future, I will be loved and supported through my inevitable exit. It's going to happen one day. It'd be nice if I was in a rocking chair when I'm 99, you know, and I've been all the places I want to go. I've been to Budapest, I've been to Istanbul, too many things I still want to do. But it would be nice to think that when my time comes, as it's going to come for every single person watching this, that I will be carried through that. And for me to waste my valuable life now terrorizing myself, right? Because I could terrorize myself before cancer. With what if this, what if that, what if that? That's part of my legacy, the what ifs. It's just now got somewhere really good to hang its hat on. My anxiety can sit on cancer. What about this? What about that? What about the next thing? So the more I immerse myself in meditation, in breath work, the more I watch Jed's Zoom, the more I follow his lessons and workshops and programs, the more I immerse myself in the things that bring me in and down into the calm place, the eye of the storm, the less my neurosis runs away with me, the stories of my past. Oh, bad things are going to happen, bad one's going to come and get me, because it's now just got a really legitimate place to hang its hat, and that is cancer. So I reframed the word. The book I'm writing just now is called Great Pray Love, and it's dancing with the cancer. I reframed the word cancer to the word chancer. And a lot of people said, oh, is that because cancer's like a wee chancer? It's like a wee fly man. It's come in and it's stealing your life away. And I said, no, I got a second chance. I'm blessed. I could have had a heart attack or a stroke. There are people not here today that were here yesterday. We were stuck in traffic and didn't get to speak to Jed last night. I was telling him because there was a guy totaled on the way home from, we were down dropping my mother shopping off in Helensburgh. 30 seconds before we drove up, he's not going to get another chance. I got cancer. I got another chance to live life even more deeply and fully with a whole new, as you'll know, vision and mindset. And I'm actually blessed. So I call it the chancer, because there are some things that we get in life that give us a second chance, another chance to live more fully and more deeply.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? But waking in at 3 in the morning, being scared, I do that too. The only difference is that I now know I can choose to sit there and go, but I did that before cancer. And, or I can say, I'm going to go down and light a candle and meditate, or what I'll probably do tonight, get my duvet and go and sit outside under the stars and the moon, or lie on the grass in the dark, looking up at the sky. That's the way it was designed. It was designed for us to lie on the grass and look up at the stars. Right? That's why they're up there. Don't look out a window, go down, go out, lie on your duvet, on the grass, and connect with the bigger picture that will always tell you it's all going to be okay. And see when they call your number, they'll call your number, and you worrying about it is actually just going to shorten your life, because you're going to be more anxious than you need to be. Everything will unfold in time. All what I said at the end there, all is well, all is safe, all is secure. And keep practicing the strategies that help get you out of that terrorism in your brain. Drop into your heart.
Thank you. Thank you. Lovely to see you.
Oh, you too. Can't tell you. Pleasure. Absolute
you.
pleasure.
And thanks, Jed, as well. That was brilliant.
He's amazing.
Thanks, Jules. Jules, that's great as well. Well, Angela, there is no more questions, so we'll just look to start wrapping things up slightly. Really, thank you very much for giving your time, for agreeing to come on here. I know you've been through your own journey, which has been difficult at times, no doubt about it. You're looking fantastic just now. A bit of performance anxiety creeping in because it's Zoom. We're on Zoom. There's a computer here. We're pre-arranged to run through it. But I was starting to speak a bit higher and a bit squeakier because the panic was setting in myself, and you just settle the story and say what will be, will be. It's just brilliant. And also, for taking the time just to teach as well. Not just tell us your story, but actually give us some strategies and some resources, and then earmark us to other resources as well. So really, thank you very much, Angela. It's been amazing. And if there's any final comments, then over to you.
So just thank you, Jed, very much. I can't tell you how proud I am of you, and I don't mean to patronise you there, I sound like your mammy, but I'm incredibly proud of what you did. I remember the first time we met, and I remember the whole journey, and I remember, you know, your own sense of, you know, who am I to do any of this? And then, you know, just how unhelpful a question that is. Why not you? Absolutely you. And look at you, look what you're doing. And I'm so blessed and proud to have been a part of, tiny wee part of that journey, a wee spark in that big flame that you've engaged with. You're doing amazing things, and I'm not blowing smoke up your bum. I'm so honoured to be here today, and it's just such a beautiful full circle, and I'm hoping that maybe we can find ways that I can get off the corporate gravy train and move more into engaging with some of these amazing projects that are going on, and give back, just give back. So thank you very much indeed.
Thanks very much, Angela. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.